I'm Ben Dali. Do we have in the house today any 7-year-olds? Just one. Almost. When I was 7, I learned to rhyme. So naturally, I wrote a book of poems. I was invited up on stage in assembly to read some poems out to school when I was 7. And I'm going to read the same 3 to you today that I shared all those years ago. Remarkably, I actually have the original master copy of my manuscript, the book of poems by future stage name Ben Dali. This book is 33 years old, older than some of your mums. And even though I know these poems by heart, I'm going to pretend I'm reading them from the book for effect. The first one is called Mud. Mud is splashy. Mud is fun. If I couldn't splash around in mud, I'd turn into a nun. Mud is sploshy. Mud is groovy. I'd like to take a ball of mud and put it in a movie. Mud is splishy. Mud is great. But I would not like to see some mud placed on my breakfast plate. Thank you. Too kind. The next poem is called Monsters. Monsters are gutty. Some are gooey too. You would not like to meet the philosopher Boo. Some monsters throw gut balls that are headed your way. You would not like to meet the philosopher High Guffin Tootay. Thank you. And finally, football. Way the lads. In football, you get headers, back heels and passes. In the half-time break, you don't get jam tartses. Thank you. As you may be able to infer from my general demeanour, that poem encapsulated the full extent of my knowledge of football when I was 7. And little did I know it at the time, but my love for the beautiful game had already peaked. Sadly, my teachers never really encouraged my love of writing poetry, and I didn't write another poem for fun for 30 years until I became a primary school teacher and wanted to inspire the children I was teaching. So I wrote a poem, and I was so proud of this poem that I actually entered it into a national poetry competition, and remarkably, I'm going to read it for you today. It's called Humdinger Words. I like words. I like flippant, silly words like wobble and jiggle and bobble and pickle and bupkiss and doohickey, chinwag, pipsqueak. I like vowly, wowee words like hullabaloo and bamboozle, bazooka, smithereens and schmooze, nincompoop. I like winding consonanty words like whippersnapper, flabbergast, flibberty-gibbet, codswallop and gobbledygook. MacGuffin. I like behyphened, flowing phrases like chock-a-block, lickety-split, namby-pamby, dilly-dally, higgledy-piggledy and fuddy-duddy. You know, diddly-squat. Counterintuitively, I also like punchy monosyllabic onomatopoeic monstrosities like zap, schlep, squelch, swish, flume, spork, bump, boob, burp, the. I like scrabblicious words like jazzy and juxtapose, quiz and quincunx, tsigain and tzatziki. Mind you, beeswax oxymoron. I like mystical, mesmeric words like vortex, temesis, phantasmagoria, celador, capiche, moribund vampire, sycophant, scallywag, hashtag douchebag, bumbag. I worship extensive discombobulating words like indefatigable, infinitesimal, incognito, incommunicado, schadenfreude, and I yearn for unending tongue-twistery words like flauxy, norky, nihilipilification, hippopotamonstrous sesquipedaliophobia, doofus. Yeah, I like words. May I hear a few of yours, slubbity gullions? Ta-da! Ben Dali. Aw, shucks, you guys. I mean, gazooks. I actually wrote one more poem since then. This one I wrote in November of 2012. 24. My friends and I had hired a party mansion for the weekend for my mate's 40th, and I wrote this poem at 2:30 in the morning while I was experiencing something brand new for the first time ever. Mandy, my friend's wife, mentioned to me that she'd hired a man to deliver some meat to our building the next day, and I, on the spot, came up with a brand new ambition in life and wrote this poem. It's called Met a Meat Man. I want to meet a meat man. I want to tell you that I met a meat man. Have you ever met a meat man? Do you want to meet a meat man? I want to meet a meat man. Meeting a meat man, that would be neat, man. So I went to meet a meat man, but the meat man that I went to meet turned out to be a beautiful woman. So I never met a meat man. But if you want to meet a meaty woman, this is how you meet her. Wowee, we're marrying in 3, 2, 1 meter. And that is how I met her. And that is mega meta meat man. Thank you. Not bad considering the circumstances under which I penned that. This is an open mic variety night, and I'm never one to just stick to one discipline on stage, so I've done my poetry and now I'm going to form a band. Could you please welcome to the stage my brand new drummer Heather and my brand new tambourine man Mike?